This is Tim Bryce with my column titled, Are Democrats Evil? Democrats are becoming concerned over a growing characterization depicting them as evil. They generally do not understand how they earn this moniker and feel it is an unfair accusation. Well, let's see if we can sort this out. For something or someone to be evil, it has to be profoundly immoral and malevolent. This means their perspective of the world and its governing precepts are at odds with the status quo, for example, the acceptable form of behavior. This means an evil person is willing to wrong, cheat, defraud, bear false witness, plot, foul play, threaten, or render harm unto others. Ridicule is one thing, defamation of character is another. There's a big difference. Such an interpretation of evil is universally applicable and transcends political parties. In very broad strokes, Democrats prefer socialism as opposed to capitalism, which the country is based. It also means they believe in a redistribution of the wealth, so everyone is tended to financially, regardless if they earned it or not. This means they believe in the control of society, including business. They are not very interested in the rights of the individual as prescribed by the U.S. Constitution, believing the average human being is not smart enough to manage their own affairs, hence the need for expanded government control, which becomes invasive in all facets of our lives. Such a philosophy is in sharp contrast to the Constitution, which is aimed at defending the inalienable rights of the individual. Not surprising, Democrats would like to see the Constitution superseded by a substantially revised document affecting such things as the elimination of the Electoral College, realignment of the Congress and Supreme Court, modifying the rights in the Bill of Rights to usurp the individual's rights, most notably the right to bear arms. In a nutshell, their ultimate aim is total control of the country. Believing in such concepts is not necessarily evil, except for the fact they are in sharp contrast to the status quo. More importantly, it is the tactics they use in attaining their goals that must be scrutinized. If they are prepared to lie, cheat, defraud, bear false witness, assassinate character, and more to achieve their ends, then yes, they are most definitely evil. Now we are learning about doxing, a new expression describing the malicious publishing of private information about someone over the Internet. This is closely related to leaking information to the press or foreign power, all of which is illegal, of course. Heckling politicians or banning people from restaurants because of their political persuasion is not just obnoxious behavior without any sensitivity to common courtesy, it is also threatening the safety of the person being targeted. This is also known as bullying. This all comes down to the Democrats' perspective on the rule of law. During the recent hearings on Judge Kavanaugh, a double standard emerged in terms of how Democrats and Republicans should be treated. Whereby they were obsessed with the alleged indiscretions of Kavanaugh, they were indifferent about Keith Ellison's abuse accusations, the deputy chair of the Democratic National Committee. Further, during the Kavanaugh hearing, the Democrats portrayed the judge as guilty until proven innocent, using the media to spin their perspective. As we all know in our legal system, a person is innocent until proven guilty. Even after the FBI investigation cleared the judge, the Democrats refused to acknowledge so. It appears the resistance movement featuring heckling and demonstrations is funded by billionaire George Soros. If this is so, Soros is truly evil as he hires people to do his bidding for him. As to the Democrats who specialize in harassment tactics and intimidation, they are either willing pawns of their party or complicit in organizing and executing such events. Whereas there is no excuse for the former, the later group is genuinely evil. Then there are the congressional obstructionists. The strategy itself is perfectly acceptable as it follows the rules, but when it crosses over the line of fairness and decency through lies and slanders, then it is evil. For example, in the Kavanaugh hearing, the Democrats' delay tactics were actually some pretty clever political maneuvering. But the search and destroy smear campaign they created against the judge was simply diabolical. Then, by feigning innocence, they add insult to injury. Interestingly, their tactics galvanized Republicans going into the midterm elections, a byproduct the Democrats had not anticipated. For those Democrat moderates, which seem to be growing fewer and fewer each day, who voice their concerns and displeasure, no, they are not evil, assuming they are not calling for harm to others or the overthrow of the government through unlawful means. They are just speaking their minds, but are willing to observe the rule of law. Many Democrats follow the mantra of the end justifies the means, a tactic encouraged by Saul Alinsky, meaning anything is fair in order to win in politics, regardless if it is legal or not. More than anything, it is this supposition which is leading Democrats to practice immoral behavior. This is their green light to become belligerent. All of this has led to extreme tension in the nation's capital, taking it to a heightened level, well beyond simple gridlock to fear and anger. I do not recall such tension back in the 1960s, which is considered a flashpoint in American history. It's more akin to the discourse leading up to the Civil War. This would be unfortunate if it leads to violence, but judging by the polarity of the country, it might be inevitable. One last note. As to the news media who spreads fake news or discriminates in story coverage in the hopes of altering people's perspectives of facts and events, including deception and fraud, yes, they are just plain wicked. Friends, keep the faith. This is Tim Bryce in Palm Harbor, Florida. Follow me on the internet at timbryce.com.